Hello and welcome to today's lesson. In this lesson, we'll be talking about subtraction of mixed fractions. Let's get started. You will recall that mixed fractions are fractions that have whole number component as well as a fractional component. So sometimes you are asked to subtract whole numbers from mixed fractions. How do we do this? Well, there's a simple method. There's an improper fraction method, and there's a stack method. So first, let's start with the simple method. So if you want to solve this with a simple method, what you do is that you write out the mixed fraction in a proper form. So this is going to be, remember we said 7 1/4 can be written as 7 plus 1/4. And you want to subtract 4 from both of them. So we can open up the bracket and say this is 7 plus 1/4 minus 4. So we can go on to say this is 7 minus 4 plus 1/4. Okay, and then we can say the 7 minus 4 is going to be 3 plus 1/4. That gives us 3 1/4. Okay, that's one possible way. The other way is to use the improper fraction method, where you will convert the mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So 4 times 7 is going to give us 28. So 28 plus 1 is going to be 29. So 7 1/4 is going to be 29/4 minus 4/1. So we want to convert these two fractions to be like fractions. So we're going to multiply 4/1 by 4. So that's going to be 29/4 minus 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times 4 is 4. So and that gives us 4. So 29 minus 16. And that gives us a value of 29 minus 16. 16 from 29 gives us 13. 13/4. So what is 13/4? If you write it as a mixed fraction, so 4 in 13, if you divide 13 by 4, that's like 4 times 3 is 12, so that's 3. And then 12 from 13 leaves us with 1, so 1/4. So these are two possible methods by which you can go ahead and subtract this. There's a third method called the stack method. We're going to talk about that shortly. Also, you might be asked to subtract mixed fractions from a whole number. So we can use the same method. Well, however, you have to be very careful here. The signs are very important. So let's rewrite this fraction. So we can write this fraction as 5 minus, let's put a bracket, 2 plus 1/4. Okay, so when we open up the bracket, the sign is going to affect everything within the bracket. So that's 5 minus 2 minus 1/4. Okay, now we can 5 minus 2 is what? 3 minus 1/4. So remember, this is 3/1. So we can turn this into like fractions. So this is going to, we're going to multiply that by 4. You remember, you multiply by the opposite denominator. So this is going to be 12/4 minus 1/4. So that gives us 12 minus 1 gives us 11. So that's 11/4. Well, you can write this out as a mixed fraction. 4, if you divide 11 by 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So that's 2 times, and then leaves a remainder of 3/4. So if we use the improper fraction method, we can say that this is 5/1 minus 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9, so 9/4. So convert them to like fractions. So we because we multiply with the opposite denominator. So 4 times 5, that's going to be 20 over 1 times 4, that's 4, minus 9 over 4. And that gives us a value of 20 minus 9 gives us 11 over 4. And that, if you write that in a mixed fraction form, it's going to be 2, 3 over 4. So that's how you can use these two methods to help you find the value of 5 minus 2 1/4. Also, sometimes you will be asked to subtract two mixed fractions from each other. So the same process applies. So we can go ahead and write each of these mixed fractions. So we can say 5 1 over 4 can be written as 5 plus 1 over 4, let's put it in the bracket, minus 2 plus 1 over 5. Okay, so remember the signs affect whatever is in the bracket. So 5 plus 1 over 4 minus 2 minus 1 over 5, because minus multiplied by plus gives us minus. Okay, so remember there's a plus sign here, even though it's not written. So minus times plus that makes it minus 2. So we can bring the 5 minus 2 plus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 5. Okay, so next, so that's 3 plus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 5. So we can make these two fractions like fractions. So this is going to be 3 plus 5 over 20, just multiply by the opposite denominator, minus 4 over 20. So this gives us a value of 3 1 over 20. Okay, what about the improper fraction method? Yes, we can also use the improper fraction method. If we convert 5 1 over 4 to improper fraction, it becomes 21 over 4, because 4 times 5 is 20, 20 plus 1 is 21, and then 5 times 2 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11 over 5. So we want to make them to have the same denominator, thereby making them like fractions. So we multiply by opposite denominator. So 21 times 5 is going to be 105. 11 times 4 is going to be 44, divided by 20. So if you subtract 44 from 105, what you have is 61 over 20. So if you divide 61 by 20, that gives you 3, because 20 times 3 is 60, and then you are left with 1 over 20. There's a third method called the stack method. This stack method is very useful, just like we add regular numbers. So let's try and use the stack method to solve this mixed fraction. So 5 1 over 4 minus 3 3 over 4. Okay, so we want to, because these fractions are in the same denominator, you can only use the fraction, the stack method, when you have like fractional parts. So when the fractional parts are like values, then you can use the stack method. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing if you try to use it with unlike fractions. So please take notes. It's very important. When you use the stack method, make sure that the fractional parts are like fractions. So but we can't, 1 minus 3 is not possible, so we need to borrow. So we can borrow from the 5, that leaves 4 here. But every one you borrow, remember the 4 is going to be 4. So when you borrow 1, it's going to be 4. So you add 4 to number 1 there. So 4 plus 1 is going to be 5. So this becomes 5 over 4. Okay, now 5 minus 3, yeah, that's possible. So this is going to be 2 over 4. Now we have 4 as the top number there. 4 minus 3 is going to give us 1 2/4. But we don't want to leave our answer in this form because 2/4 can still be simplified further. So 2 here is 1, 2 there is 2. So the answer will be 1/2, or 1.5. So that's how we use the stack method to subtract mixed fractions that have like terms. So in this lesson we have highlighted 3 methods. The simple method, which I believe every one of us likes. You must be careful with the signs when you're using the simple method. Remember to always note when you're subtracting and it affects the mixed fractions. Then the stack method is very useful when you have like terms, like fraction terms. The improper fraction method is you can use it in all ways, and it's the best method and reduces your chances of making mistakes. So that's it on subtraction of mixed fractions. Thank you for watching.